Welcome to Bangla City SATV News. This is Shibala Alam with our headlines. Government issued gadget notification extending ongoing restriction till February 21st to curb coronavirus. Petrapol land port strike entered day 4. Thousands of cargo vehicles waiting to cross the border. Meetings in progress. Government announced 24 citizens' names for awarding Ekushe Padak 2021, recognizing contributions to various fields. As the country is still witnessing a sharp rise of COVID-19 cases, the government on Thursday issued a gadget notification extending ongoing restriction till February 21st to contain the deadly virus. The restrictions are extended from February 7 to February 21st. The decision was taken in light of the current situation and the new Omicron variant of the coronavirus, the Cabinet Division said in a notice today. 2 new directives have been added to the ongoing restriction, which are no public gatherings of over 100 people are allowed in outdoor locations for social, religious, political or government events. Any participants at a public gathering must carry their vaccine certificate. In-person classes of all school and colleges and equivalent education institutions will remain suspended. 2 meetings on progress in West Bengal today to break the deadlock between the land port Petrapol Benapol. The people concerned hopes that a positive decision may come from the meeting. A meeting with Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is underway at the Nabanna office in West Bengal. After the meeting with the Chief Minister, the officials of the Calcutta Custom Commission will hold a meeting on the same issue to announce the decision. An indefinite strike has been going on for 4 days in protest of various harassment by the LP manager of Petrapol port. As a result, more than 6,000 cargo vehicles are waiting at the Petrapol site. Meanwhile, trade unions at the port of Petrapol have reported that the new LP manager, Kam Sahani, is blocking entry into the port even though the paperwork is in order. The government has announced names of 24 eminent citizens for awarding Ekushe Padak 2021 in an effort to recognize their contributions to the respective fields. The nominees were announced in a press release issued by the Ministry of Cultural Affairs today. This year, 2 are getting Ekushe Padak in a language movement category, 4 in liberation war category, 7 in art, 2 in language and literature, 2 in social services and 4 in research. Besides, 1 each has been nominated for Ekushe Padak in journalism, science and technology and education. An army personnel and 3 suspected terrorists were killed during a shootout at Ruma zone in Bandarban on Wednesday night. Reports said that the deceased army man was a warrant officer. All the 3 deceased terrorists said to be members of the Jana Shanghati Samiti. Locals said army members conducted a drive in the Bathipara area acting on a tip-off. Sensing the presence of PCJSS members, opened fire at the patrol team, killing Habibur and injuring Firoz in the process. Meanwhile, the 3 suspected terrorists were killed when the army team retaliated. PCJSS was formed in 1972. Viewers are taking a short break. Stay with Bangla City SATV News. Welcome back. You're watching Bangla City SATV News. Now we bring you to the international story updates. The United States on Wednesday deployed several thousand troops to bolster NATO forces in Eastern Europe as the leaders of France and Germany flagged trips to Moscow to address Western fears of an invasion of Ukraine, with Russia refusing to pull back 100,000 troops poised on Ukraine's border. 1,000 US soldiers in Germany are being sent to Romania and other 2,000 stationed in the United States are being flown to Germany and Poland. President Joe Biden wants to reassure his NATO allies as long as Putin acts aggressively. Meanwhile, Pentagon said no American soldiers would be sent to fight in Ukraine as the country is not a NATO member. On the other hand, after the talks with the Dutch Prime Minister Volodymyr Zelensky said Ukraine was focused only on peace but insisted it has the right to defend itself. A Mumbai court today summoned West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee for showing disrespect to national anthem. The court directed her to appear before it on March 2nd in. The court informed that though Mamata Banerjee is the CM, a sanction is not required and there is no bar to proceed against the accused as she was not discharging her official duty. Mumbai BJP unit activist Vivekanand Gupta approached the court in December last year with a complaint alleging Mamata shown disrespect to the national anthem during her visit. The court, according to PTI, said it is evident from video clips on YouTube that Mamata sang the national anthem and stopped abruptly and left the dais. Highly addictive adulterated cocaine has killed at least 16 people and left 50 in hospitals around in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Investigators believe that illegal drug was either poisoned or mixed with other substances in order to cut the price. The drugs were brought from the same shantytown as 9 arrests have been made so far. Investigators are awaiting the results of post-mortem examination to compare drugs seized in raids with the consumed by the victims. 12 migrants found frozen in death near Turkey-Greece border on roadside. The bodies were found wearing minimal clothes despite the extreme cold after they apparently froze to death. Turkish Interior Minister accused that the 12 deaths occurred as they were pushed back by Greek border units earlier. He also stated that the European Union as weak and inhuman. On the other hand, Greece's migration minister denies saying the deaths were a tragedy, but that Turkey's version of events was a false propaganda. The United Arab Emirates destroyed 3 drones that entered the nation's airspace over unpopulated areas early on Wednesday. Earlier, the country faced several attacks by Yemen's Houthi group. Meanwhile, according to a US-based intelligence, the attack was claimed by a small jihadi group. On the other hand, Houthis have not yet announced a new operation. According to the Emirati Defense Ministry, the country was all ready to deal with any threats and was taking all necessary measures to protect the state and its territory. At least 60 people were killed in a militia attack on Wednesday morning. The incident happened at a displaced persons camp in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. United Nations said Codeco fighters have killed hundreds of civilians in Ituri in recent years and forced thousands to flee their homes. Recent attacks also have targeted displaced persons camp. The Savo displacement site was home to about 4,000 people in December. Codeco's fighters are drawn mainly from the Lendu farming community, which has long been in conflict with Hema herders. Jeff Zucker, the global head of marketing of the American news channel CNN, has resigned over relationship with a female employee on Wednesday. He announced his resignation, which would take immediately effective. He wrote it in an email about his resignation that the relationship had recently begun. It needed to be said when it started, but he did not. Although his colleague's name was not mentioned in the email, the two began working together on another news outlet since 1997. They had been good friends and colleagues for almost 2 decades, Glass said in a statement. But recently, their relationship has taken a different turn. New Zealand has announced it will begin reopening to the world, resignaling an end to nearly 2 years of tough border rules that had separated families and shut out almost all foreigners. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern outlined a 5-step plan today that will allow fully vaccinated New Zealand citizens to start travelling from Australia later this month. They will need to self-isolate on arrival, but they won't need to go into state-run quarantine facilities. The government website states self-isolation can be in home or suitable alternative accommodation. New Zealand has recorded nearly 17,000 COVID cases and 53 deaths since the start of the outbreak. Now the story from the sports wall. Khulna Tigers won the game by 9 wickets against Sylhet Sunrisers. The bowlers of Sylhet Sunrisers failed to stop the storm of Shoma Shalkar and Andre Fletcher. 142 runs of Sylhet looked a decent total after an early collapse. Mithun and skipper Musaddiq stitched a crucial 68-run stand. Bowlers of Sylhet Sunrisers didn't start well with too many loose ball and full tosses. Meanwhile, Shoma and Fletcher relentlessly applied pressure and smashed them all over the park. Pereira, who came in after the fall of first wicket, looked menacing and smashed 22 in no time. Andre Fletcher was the player of the match. The Bangladesh women's cricket team left for New Zealand to take part in the first ODI World Cup. Although sadly, 3 people, including a cricketer, tested positive in the corona test. The women's team left Bangladesh, leaving the corona victims behind for New Zealand today. The coronavirus test will be conducted on February 14 at the end of the 10-day quarantine period for the whole team after arriving in New Zealand. If negative, Nigar Sultana Salmara will be arrested. After that, the conditioning camp will continue till 24th February. Before ending, we go to the Euro-Bangla City SATV News headlines again. Government issued gadget notification extending ongoing restrictions till February 21st to curb coronavirus. Petropol land port strike entered day 4. Thousands of cargo vehicles waiting to cross the border. Meetings in progress. Government announced 24 citizens' names for awarding Ekushe Padak 2021, recognizing contribution to various fields. You're up to date so far here on Euro-Bangla City SATV News, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.